truth be a priority at university? Welcome to the Red Alert Report for Wednesday, July 22nd. I'm Amy Zawi. One would assume any educational institution would have the search for truth as a primary objective. The very reason for education is to discover the truth of the world and make it better, whether it's the hard sciences, where truth is discovered and unraveled, or the humanities, where the search for intangible truths such as justice and fairness, life's purpose, and the human experience are examined. Things like political science, history, anthropology, these studies seem to mix empirical evidences with subjective elements such as motive, perspective, accuracy in data, and completeness of the facts or events at hand. It is under these more nuanced studies that Israel, and by extension Jews, is being maligned and slandered and demonized for the sake of a modern agenda with ancient roots. Antisemitism, or the notion that Jews are somehow the origin of all the world's ills. This notion is they must be subjugated or eliminated, and this message is both overt and subtle. The hard sciences are also getting in on the bullying, believe it or not. The current guise is the so-called criticism of Israel, but it is still blatant anti-Semitism. History reveals this rally against Jews at local levels throughout history, starting with Persia and the events we read about in the book of Esther, and the recurring theme of annihilation, displacement, and otherwise persecution of Jews extends itself through each generation of European and Western history, thanks in part to the Church and its erroneous replacement theology. It all culminated in the most heinous manifestation during the 20th century with the Nazis' attempt at a final solution. This attempt left a severe dent in the Jewish population. 6 million people were killed under the noses and right beside their neighbors and within the communities they resided for generations. So why bring this up? Too many people, Christians, Jews, and others that I meet each day and each week of any age, are surprised when I tell them anti-Semitism is alive and well in our society. Most have no idea that Jews are attacked on the streets of LA, New York, or Paris at record levels. Most have no clue what the UN has been doing to vilify Israel for decades and how school curriculums at all levels are fostering anti-Semitism right inside its textbooks and lesson plans. Encouraging today's members of the community, no matter what their age, to educate themselves on anti-Semitism and its rise in America and Europe, including the reasons behind it, is vital to preventing another version of the Holocaust. Never again means we understand when it's creeping up on us again. Critical race theory and curriculums is a key component of fueling anti-Semitism under the guise of a progressive and innovative education for humanity to evolve. CRT diminishes the entire history of Israel, Jews' connection to the land and the experience of Jews in Europe and elsewhere over the centuries, and even the numbers and reasons why Jews were targeted by Hitler and its regime are downplayed. Many resources examining the anti-Semitism of CRT are out there, but here's a well-written essay from a student's perspective, and I encourage you to take a few minutes and give it a read. Replacement theology is still rampant in many churches, leading them to omit or lie about the modern state of Israel and fail to examine Israel and the Jewish population in a biblical context. We love Israel and Jews and are committed to solidarity with them because God is committed to Jews and Israel, and He has laid out that commitment in His biblical text, and it is evidenced by the very establishment of the modern state of Israel. 2 quick reads on replacement theology can be found here. One article is from a Liberty University scholar, and the other from a Messianic rabbi. We don't have to be full-time college students to continually educate ourselves on what is going on spiritually and practically. College campuses have now, for over 15 years, been drumming into students who are never experts on any history or modern issues of the Middle East that Jews are white supremacists who invaded and occupy a land by displacing Arabs and oppressing the populations that remain. For a quick education on BDS, check out this page on the Maccabee Task Force website. Lies about Israel and Jews, place in history, as well as its modern presence in the region, are building up a new generation of haters. This latest generation is viewing Israel and Jews in the same light that Hitler did at the pan-European level last century and what happened to Jews on regional levels for centuries prior. Truth is easily found through biblical, archaeological, and historical studies, studies done with intellectual honesty and integrity. But this time with the internet and social media, which is a conduit of both truth and lies, depending on how you use it, this poison of anti-Semitism is leaching farther than ever before. The Jerusalem Connection is committed to combating this poisonous tide through education and information available to all who will partake and choose to actively seek truth. To this end, our Hebrew University Scholarship Fund is established to send a college-aged American student to Israel to study for a full semester, immerse him or herself in the community and the culture of Israel, and learn firsthand the happenings and pulse of the society, one that is eclectic and diverse. Our 2021 recipient, Joshua Sherrill, shares this message with us about his experience in Israel.
Hi everyone, this is Joshua Sherrill speaking to you from the Biblical Gardens on campus here at Hebrew University of Jerusalem. And I just want to take a minute to thank you again for your contributions to the scholarship allowing me to study here this year. And I want to encourage you with a good report that things have gone well. All year I've learned from top scholars in the fields of biblical studies like biblical languages and interpretation, as well as ancient Near Eastern history and archaeology, inside and outside of the classroom. So thank you so much for that, and also know that I've enjoyed being here as part of a Messianic congregation in Jerusalem, where I'm witnessing the faithful remnant of God's people Israel worship alongside Gentiles from all over the world like me, whom God has saved, as one fellowship. And it's really been encouraging to me, and it will be something I remember for the rest of my life, my family as well. And we just want to thank you and encourage you with that good news. So blessings to you all.
Thank you, Joshua. We are thrilled to be a part of your walk in God's plan and for your life, and to have you in Israel to discover truth and further your love for the people, the land, the history, and the biblical foundations that you rely on. Please help us send more Americans to Israel so they can come back with truth and share it with their home campuses, their home churches, and within their communities, and to do so for the rest of their lives, no matter their career path. Donate to the scholarship on our website or follow the instructions to mail in or phone in a contribution. Consider a recurring gift, as the scholarship is a recurring effort. We will send more than one student to Israel if the funds are available. You can read more details about the program on our site, as well as make application or refer students to our site so they can make an application. Shavua Tov, and have a great week.